Hello my bookworms, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sydney and today's video is another book haul talking about all of the books that I have obtained recently, whether it be from gifts from you amazing subscribers and or all the times that I lost some self-control. So hey, what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. There are over 30 books here that we're going to talk about. It's a little absurd, and I'm insanely grateful. Thank you so much if you ever send me anything. It is so not expected, so not needed. But anything that shows up on my doorstep is loved and welcomed with open arms. We had some really good books in this little lineup. I'm so excited to talk about them with you guys, so let's just get right on into it. And I'm just gonna pick up the first one that's right on top. This first one is Night Film by Marissa Pessel. This one was gifted to me by Sarah over at Sarah's Shelves. Thank you so much. Sarah said that she loves this book so much. I know absolutely nothing about it, but I do know that it is a very heavy paperback and the flop is pretty stellar. And I also see that there is some like darker pages, like mixed media almost, like, ooh. Oh, okay. That made my heart jump a little bit. I'm very excited. I love that. And since there's so many books to talk about here today, obviously we're gonna be doing kind of like a gist, an overview of each book. I'm not gonna sit here and read through every single synopsis. I'm gonna give you vibes. I'm gonna give you immediate thoughts. So the back of this book, one of the quotes, it says, "A hair-raising mystery that's equal parts family drama, horror movie, and jigsaw puzzle. As the pieces come together, it's impossible to look away." That's absolutely incredible, and I love the fact that there's like mixed media, extra elements to the story with darker pages and little photographs and like website pages. I don't know, man. It looks very interesting, and I love when people get me books because it's like one of their favorite books. It makes me excited to pick it up. So thank you, Sarah, so much. The next two I'm going to talk about together, and they are Golden Sun and Morning Star by Pierce Brown. These are the next two books in the Red Rising saga, and I read Red Rising a couple months ago, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was 5 out of 5 stars, and these are the next two books in the series. So now whenever I have the ability to pick them up, I have them ready to go. Red Rising, the vibes of Red Rising honestly give me, I don't know if these will be the same exact vibes as what I'm about to tell you, but the first book in the series, Red Rising, gave me big Game of Thrones vibes mixed with Hunger Games. I don't know how accurate other people might think that is, but I was living for it. The story was absolutely incredible. The writing was sharp and exciting, and I think that you should pick it up. Morning Star was gifted to me by one of my patrons, April, and she gave me this really cute Christmas card for it. I'm obsessed. And then I'd like to give a big shout out to Sydney, myself, for buying myself Golden Sun. Okay, the next one that we have here, I'm not sure if I'm gonna pronounce it correctly, but it's called Chouette by Claire Ashetsky. I love this cover. I think it's spooky. I think that it is right up my alley. And I'm like 99% sure that Heather, one of my other patrons, got this for me as well. She said that the vibes of it kind of reminded her of like another potential like Bunny novel, Bunny by Mona Awad. I lean over like it's over here, isn't it? Here it is, my pride and joy. And that was enough for me. I'm super excited about it. It says, an exhilarating, provocative novel of motherhood in extremis. Arresting, darkly funny, and unsettling, it is a brilliant exploration of ambition, sacrifice, perceptions of ability, and the ferocity of motherly love. I'm definitely at a point in my life where like thinking about motherhood is something that is absolutely terrifying. Not something that I want to do right now in this moment, but books that touch on motherhood, especially in ways that aren't like, oh my god, I love my kids so much. They are me. They are exactly like they are my identity now. I love when books will go into the internal struggles of motherhood, because I'm sure that plenty of that goes on in every mother's life. And I just like the raw and real, you know, like Night Bitch. If you've read Night Bitch, you know what I mean. It was absolutely bizarre, but it talked about motherhood in a way that was astounding. Very cool, very interesting, very weird. So the idea that this might be similar to that is very exciting. The next book that I got is Across the Green Grass Fields by Shannah Maguire. I also got the 7th book in the series, which is Where the Drowned Girls Go. And this series is just one of my faves. It's really, really fun, very whimsical, whimsical, but always with like an eerie, dark twist. Shannah Maguire's writing is absolutely phenomenal for me every single time. All of the books in this series are standalones. You don't have to read them in order. And there's basically children who are finding these doorways into their perfect worlds, but they somehow get kicked out of their perfect world and are now kind of dealing with real life again. Not really sure how to either cope with being back in the real world or endlessly hoping to find their doorway again. In some of the books, you follow the kids while they're in their world, and other times you're following them in their real life, or they go on expeditions. And it's just really, really awesome. Shannah Maguire is incredible, and they're super quick to get through. I think that everyone will like at least one of the books in the series. The next one I bought because I didn't buy it. I got it from my future sister-in-law for Christmas. She went to my wish list and got me The Rose Code by Kate Quinn, but I did put this on my wish list because of Noelle from Noelle 7 Pages. The way that Noelle talked about this book made me obviously immediately add it to my wish list. It just sounded like the type of historical fiction that I would really vibe with. It is a World War II story involving 3 female codebreakers at Bletchley Park and the spy they must uncover after the war is over. And it says, it is everything you love about an unput-downable novel and more. An unforgettable war story, to be sure, but also a tale of friendship, fortitude, and forgiveness. Utterly satisfying. And I'm pretty sure this ended up on one of Noelle's like top 10 or like one of her favorite books of last year, I believe. And historical fiction isn't necessarily something that I gravitate towards, but it's something that I feel like every time I do pick something up in that genre, I end up really liking it. So having the knowledge that someone I know really, really loved it makes me feel like I could also really, really love it. The next one, very excited about it. It is also courtesy of me, myself, and I, and it is In My Dreams I Hold a Knife by Ashely Winstead. I saw this book on Books and Lala, one of her reading vlogs, and I became obsessed with it. One, the cover is stunning. I think it is absolutely eye-catching. So basically in this one, there are 6 friends, 1 college reunion, and 1 unsolved murder. 10 years after graduation, Jessica Miller has been invited back to her university for a reunion, and she's excited because like she's grown up. She is much different than where she was when she was in college or high school or school, I don't know which one. And she's not the girl she was when she left, back when Heather Shelby's murder fractured everything, including the tight bond linking the 6 friends she'd been closest with since freshman year. As the weekend unfolds and they get closer to the truth, the group finds there was more than murder hidden among them on campus. It's told in racing dual timelines with a dark campus setting and a darker look at friendship, love, obsession, and ambition. Sounds fabulous. I love a dual timeline, and I also love the vibe of like old friends that got broken apart because of some like big event, but now they're forced to be together again. Obviously things are gonna happen. Just like a water cup fell over onto this book and gave it water damage. Don't you see that? Isn't that upsetting? Things happen. The next one that I got was a gift from Jan over at Jan Agaton. It is Payback's a Witch by Lana Harper. Lana Harper? I don't know. And this one is a sexy, funny, charming romp of a novel that scratches that witchy autumnal itch just right. Obviously, it's a witchy sapphic book. I don't know what more you need to know about it, but I'm super excited. I think it is going to be a lot of fun. And the cover is just really, really pretty. The next one I got is also courtesy of myself. The next 3 really are courtesy of myself. And the first one is Of Woman and Salt by Gabriela Garcia. Audible was actually having a $5 deal recently, and this book was on that sale. And I remembered reading through the synopsis and thinking that it sounded really, really interesting. So I went ahead and bought it for $5. And then I was at Barnes & Noble literally today, and I saw this sitting on a table, and I was like, oh my God, hi, nice to meet you. Let me take you home. And this book basically has a story told like over generations of this family and these women with their mother-daughter relationships. And it says, Garcia's vivid details, visceral prose, and strong willful women negotiating how to survive in this world are easy to fall for. I adore this. And I absolutely love when a story like fans over generations of people, much like Pachinko by Min Jin Lee. I loved that book for that. And I know that this one's a lot shorter, but I love that in a book. So I was very excited to see this sitting on the table. The next book that I picked up was The Inheritance of Orquídea Divina by Zoraida Cordova. And the synopsis sounds So good. Basically, the Montoyas have grown up with not very much. Their pantries are always low, but they've never questioned it. And then when Orquídea Divina invites them to her funeral to collect their inheritance, they find that she has been transformed into a tree, her limbs stretching into roots and branches, leaving them with more questions than answers. 7 years later, her gifts have manifested in different ways for each of the children, but soon a hidden figure begins to tear through their family tree, picking them off one by one as it seeks to destroy the Orquídea's line. And I genuinely didn't know that this book would have some sort of fantastical element to it, so when I found that out, I definitely snatched it up right away, and this cover is absolutely stunning. I'm very excited for this one. The next one that I got at Barnes & Noble today is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Su Lin Tan. And this cover, guys, wow. Could we take just a second? Wow. Absolutely stunning. And I love this length. It is a beautiful 500 and some pages. This one is an enthralling debut fantasy inspired by the legend of Shang-Yi, the Chinese moon goddess, in which a young woman's quest to free her mother sets her on a dangerous path and pits her against the most powerful immortal in the realm. And it talks about like the celestial kingdom and a celestial emperor. Oh my god, and it's a duology, shut up. This begins an enchanting romantic duology that weaves ancient Chinese mythology into a sweeping adventure of immortals and magic, of loss and sacrifice. Where love vies with honor, dreams are fraught with betrayal, and hope emerges triumphant. Obsessed. I love a duology, and this is absolutely stunning. I'm so here for it. The next one was a gift from Mel over at Mel Reads. Thank you so much. It is The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley. This is another cover. Absolutely beautiful. And again, I didn't know that this book was like a thriller. I thought it was just like a contemporary fiction or something, but it is a thriller. It says, layered with rich exploration of the modern native experience, a reckoning of current and historical injustices, and a powerful celebration of community. The quote on the back says, prayers begin with offering Sema and sharing my spirit name, clan, and where I'm from. I always add an extra name to make sure Creator knows who I am. A name that connects me to my father because I began as a secret and then a scandal. This is again like my favorite length of a book. It's like 470 to 500 pages. Such a nice looking book. Absolutely beautiful. Very excited. The next book I got is from Rachel over at Let Me in the Library. She loved this book. I put it on my wish list and then she ended up buying it for me. So thank you so much. It is, wow, hi. It is The Swallows by Lisa Lutz. I'm obsessed with this cover. I think it is fun. I think it is edgy. I think it is not a phase, Mom. Okay, wait, hello. A teacher at a New England prep school ignites a gender war with deadly consequences. Wes Anderson meets Muriel Spark in this delicious and vicious battle of the sexes set within a private school. Wickedly fun and wildly subversive, but packing an emotional punch. It is as powerful as it is timely. Oh my god, wait, this is this is the advanced reader's copy as well. That's crazy. Very cool. Also, like the best paperback. We love to see it. I'm very excited about it. I think that sounds absolutely incredible. So thank you, Rachel, for buying me a book that you really enjoyed. I hope I also really enjoy it. The next book I got is Beyond the Black Door by A.M. Strickland, and this one says soul walkers like Kami and her mother can journey into other people's souls while they sleep. But no matter where Kami visits, she sees the black door. It follows her into every soul, and her mother has told her to never open it. But obviously she does, because where else would this book lead to? And when she puts her ear to it, she hears her own name whispered from the other side. This book features court intrigue and romance, a main character coming to terms with her asexuality, and twists and turns as a seductive mystery unfolds that endangers not only Kami's own soul, but the entire kingdom. I love that. I love how this sounds. The next one was an Illumicrate edition of Little Thieves by Margaret Owen. Absolutely beautiful. We love it. And the hardcover underneath the dust jacket is absolutely adorable. Get out of here. Look at it. Wow. Look at it. Wow. So cute. And this one says, in this delightfully irreverent retelling of The Goose Girl, Margaret Owen crafts an unputdownable tale about stolen lives, thorny truths, and the wicked girls at the heart of both. And from what I can guess from like the covers and such, I feel like we're gonna get kind of like a band of misfits and some sort of adventure. Those are the vibes I'm getting, and I'm here for it. I love that. That could be very off, but those are the vibes I'm getting, and I'm here for it regardless. The next book I got is Where Dreams Descend by Janella Angelis? and this was gifted to me from Melissa, so thank you so much for sending it over my way. I'm nervous about this one because I know that it has circus aspects to it, and I am worried that I'm going to compare it to the night circus, and I'm not sure how I'm going to feel about it, but I know a lot of people have really loved this book, so I am definitely excited to give it a shot. And basically there's this conquering circus, and there is some threat behind the scenes, like taking magicians, maybe killing them, I'm not sure, but each act becomes more and more risky as the number of missing magicians pile up. 3 are forced to reckon with their secrets before the darkness comes for them next. Obviously it's different than the night circus. It seems a little bit more high stakes maybe. I don't know, but I'm excited to give it a shot for sure. The next one I have is Girls of Fate and Fury by Natasha Nan. This is book 3 in the Girls of Paper and Fire trilogy. I still have yet to read the second one, don't worry, but I have the third one as well. In Girls of Paper and Fire, it's basically a book that follows our main character who is part of like the lower class of society, and she's chosen to be part of the king's kind of like consort basically. And I really loved the first book. It definitely has LGBT plus representation and definitely some high stakes. There are some trigger warnings in the first book, so be aware, but I had a great time, and now I have the second and the third to finish the series. The next book that I have is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Tao. I have seen everyone sobbing over this book. This one is about our main character, Julie, who has kind of planned her whole future out, moving out of her small town with her boyfriend Sam until Sam dies. And Julie is heartbroken, and she ends up skipping his funeral. And one night, desperate to hear from him one more time, Julie calls Sam's cell phone just to listen to his voicemail recording, and Sam picks up the phone. The connection is temporary, but hearing Sam's voice makes Julie fall for him all over again. And with each call, it becomes harder to let him go. I have goosebumps. I have literal goosebumps. I don't know if you can see it, but they're there. I see them. This one I feel like would destroy me, and I am here to be destroyed. Whoa, hello, blurry. Hi. The next one is The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This one was gifted to me by Heather, one of my patrons. Thank you so much. I'm excited about this one. I think it's been on my wish list for like a hot minute. And this one is about our main character, Avery Grams, who has a plan for a better future, survive high school, win a scholarship, and get out. But her luck changes in an instant when billionaire Tobias Hawthorne dies and leaves her virtually his entire fortune instead of his family. So basically she has to move into his estate because she owns it now, but his family is still living there. Heir apparent Grayson is convinced that Avery is a con woman, and he's determined to take her down, but his brother Jameson views her as their grandfather's last hurrah, a twisted riddle, a puzzle to be solved. Caught in a world of wealth and privilege, with danger around every turn, Avery will have to play the game herself just to survive. And I don't know if it's a duology or more than just 2 books, but there is a second book in the series called The Hawthorne Legacy. But I love this cover as well. I think it is really, really, really pretty. And that synopsis, it sounds like it's gonna be a little bit messy, a little bit of manipulation going on, and I am excited to pick it up. The next book that I have is The Charm Offensive by Allison Cochran. This cover is adorable. I love it. So the gist of this one, it seems like we have our 2 main characters, Dev and Charlie, and Dev has ran this like bachelorette style show called Ever After, and it's obviously doing very, very well. But then the show casts Charlie as his star, and he is beside himself because Charlie is basically a grump, and he doesn't believe in true love, he doesn't know how to act on camera, and so on and so forth. As Dev fights to get Charlie to connect with the contestants on a worldwide tour, they begin to open up to each other, and Charlie realizes he has better chemistry with Dev than with the co-stars. But even reality TV has a script, and in order to find out their way to happily ever after, they'll have to reconsider whose love story gets told and why. So cute. I love a rom-com, and I'm excited about it. The next one that I got, it is from Hannah. Thank you so much for sending it to me. It is Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. Basically, this sounds like a domestic style-ish thriller where Hollow's Edge, the neighborhood, used to be a quiet place, but then came the murders of Brandon and Fiona Truitt. A year and a half later, the town is simmering. The residents are trapped, unable to sell their homes, confronted daily by the empty Truitt house, and suffocated by their trial testimonies that implicated one of their own, Ruby Fletcher, and now Ruby is back. With her conviction overturned, Ruby waltzes right into Hollow's Edge and into the home she once shared with her friend Harper Nash. Harper is now terrified. What possible good could come of Ruby's return to the scene of the crime, and how can she possibly turn her away when she knows Ruby has nowhere to go? Within days, suspicion spreads like a virus across the town. It's increasingly clear that not everyone told the truth about the night of the Truett murders, and when Harper begins receiving threatening notes, she realizes she has to uncover the truth before someone else becomes the killer's next victim. I think this sounds like the perfect setup for like a neighborhood domestic thriller type situation where like a group of people literally sent someone to jail, their conviction was overturned because it was faulty, and now that person is back and having to deal with being around these people, and these people probably still think that she did it. And I don't know, it sounds messy, it sounds intriguing and thrilling. The next two were gifted to me from another one of my patrons, Codie. The first one is Fangs by Sarah Anderson. Absolutely stunning. It's like a fabric hardcover, and it is the cutest graphic novel. I'm pretty sure it's like a love story between a vampire and a werewolf. The graphic novel is absolutely adorable, and I'm so excited to get into it. The book itself is really pretty. And then the other one is Your Welcome Universe by Whitney Gardner. This one, our main character is Julia, and she finds a slur about her best friend sprawled across a wall at Kingston School for the Deaf. She covers it up with a beautiful but illegal graffiti mural in an attempt to protect her friend's reputation. But then she gets in trouble for it and ends up having to be kicked out of her school for deaf and goes to like a public school where she doesn't have the resources to, you know, thrive like she would in a deaf community. Julia's only outlet is her art, but someone is adding to her tags, making them better and showing off. Caught in a graffiti war, Julia must risk arrest to go toe-to-toe with her rival or face losing the only piece of her identity that still makes sense. I love how this sounds. I am super interested in deaf culture and deaf community. I took ASL in college, and one of my goals in life is to become proficient and fluent in ASL. So I got really excited when Codie chose this book for me because I am super interested. I think it sounds really good, touching, and all of the things. So thank you so much. The next book that I got is Cloud Cuckoo Land by Anthony Dewar. I love how this book feels, and the cover is just very aesthetically beautiful. The synopsis in here is absolutely like a million pages long. So a little bit of it says, in Cloud Cuckoo Land, Dewar has created a magnificent tapestry of times and places that reflects our vast interconnectedness with other species, with each other, with those who lived before us, and with those who will be here after we're gone. Sorry, my camera died. Hi. With this one, I've just seen some pretty good praises about it on the internet. I sound like an old lady. And the cover's just really pretty. So it was sitting there at my local bookstore and I just picked it up. The next one I got is The Final Revival of Opal and Neve by Donnie Walton. And this one has been recommended to me countless times. So I saw it again sitting at my local bookstore, so I snatched it up as well. And in this story, we follow Opal, who is a fiercely independent young woman pushing against the grain in her style and attitude, a black punk artist before her time. Despite her unconventional looks, Opal believes she can be a star. So when British singer-songwriter Neville Charles discovers her at a bar's amateur night, she takes him up on his offer to make rock music together for the fledgling Rivington Records. In early 70s New York City, just as she's finding her niche as part of a flamboyant and funky creative scene, a rival band signed to her label brandishes a Confederate flag at a promotional concert. Opal's bold protest and the violence that ensues set off a chain of events that will not only change the lives of those she loves, but also a deadly reminder that repercussions are always harsher for women, especially black women, who dare to speak their truth. Decades later, as Opal considers a 2016 reunion with Nev, a music journalist seizes the chance to curate an oral history about her idols. She thought she knew the stories leading up to the cult's duo most politicized chapter, but her interviews dig deeper. A nasty new allegation from unexpected source threatens to blow up everything. So historically, I have always said that like books that involve music or like music artists have never really been my jam, but then I read Daisy Jones and the Six and that flipped it on its head. Like I loved that book so much. So that makes me feel like I will probably like this because this one seems a little bit more hard-hitting, but just as dramatic, but in a different way. So I'm excited to have this and have it as an option to pick up. I think it's going to be phenomenal. The next one that I have, wow, this is going on forever, isn't it? is The Book of Accidents by Chuck Wendig. I love this cover. I think that it is spooky and looks so atmospheric. Ooh, I'm here for it. In this one, we have our two main characters, Nathan, who grew up in the country with an abusive father, and Maddie, who when she was little saw something that she shouldn't have seen. Long ago, something sinister, something hungry walked in the tunnels and the mountains and the coal mines of rural Pennsylvania. Now, Nate and Maddie Graves are married, and they have to move back to their hometown with their son, Oliver. Now, what has happened long ago is happening again, and it's happening to Oliver. He meets a strange boy who becomes his best friend, a boy with secrets of his own and a taste for dark magic. The dark magic puts them at the heart of a battle of good versus evil and a fight for the soul of the family, and perhaps for all of the world. But the Graves family has a secret weapon in this battle, their love for one another. Oh, that took a turn I wasn't ready for. It sounded so spooky, and then it went all like, ah. Regardless though, it sounds spooky. It does. It sounds weird. It's again, like my favorite length of a book. Love to see it. I just want to know what happened. I want to know what happened to Maddie as a kid and what's happening to their son now. And I just love a good cover, I have to say. The next one is a graphic novel called Black Blood Acolyte by Fu Vong and Isa Enriquez. The author, Fu, actually sent this to me for free, so thank you so much. And I also have some copies of it to give away. I will host a little giveaway for like the whole month of February. At the end of February, I will choose like 5 to 10 people to receive Black Blood for free. So let me tell you what it's about, and if it sounds cool, which it does, you should let me know down below if you would be down to be added to the drawing for a free book. The art style is absolutely stunning, and the colors are so saturated and so pretty. And this one says, centuries ago, magic mysteriously appeared in the kingdom of Dalya. At first, the mages who could wield it became servants to the king, using their newfound powers for the betterment of society. However, an evil group of mages called Black Bloods went rogue, siphoning magic from their peers before they were stopped. After that, the king imprisoned all mages, Black Blood or not. Years later, mage siblings Kana and Keyla are hiding, careful to avoid the watchful eyes of the king's guard. Despite the looming threat of imprisonment, Keyla dreams of becoming a powerful mage, while Kana is content living in the shadows. Keyla gets the chance to prove himself when bandits invade their camp, only to realize that he lacks control over his magic when they kidnapped Kana. Now, Keyla, with the help of a mercenary Tauren, must rescue his sister from the dangerous gang, while Kana tries to find her way to escape. But what do the bandits want with Kana, and will Keyla be able to save his sister without getting found out as a mage? And the storyline is told in dual perspectives, which I think will be a really cool part of the story. And the author's just an absolute sweetheart. So let me know down below if you guys would be interested in being in the raffle for a free book. The next book on the list is Blackout, and it is by Danielle Clayton, Tiffany D. Jackson, Nick Stone, Angie Thomas, Ashley Woodfolk, and Nicola Yoon. Such a banger lineup of fantastic authors. And this was gifted to me by Daryan, so thank you so much. And this one says, a summer heatwave blankets New York City in darkness, but as the city is thrown into confusion, a different kind of electricity sparks. A first meeting, longtime friends, bitter exes, and maybe the beginning of something new. When the lights go out, people reveal hidden truths. Love blossoms, friendship transforms, and all possibilities take flight. And all of these incredible authors bring the glowing warmth and electricity of Black teen love to an interconnected novel of charming, hilarious, and heartbreaking stories that shine a bright light through the darkness. And oh my gosh, the hardcover is absolutely adorable. Look at it. I think it'd be very interesting to read all of these authors' writing styles back to back to back in like different short stories and how they're all somehow interconnected. I think that it would be really fun to kind of piece together the story and just experience this subject matter from all these different points of views all at once. The next book is another Illumicrate edition. It is A Marvelous Light by Freya Marsecki. And this cover, look at it. Look at this. It's like black sprayed edges, but then stenciled on the sides, and then it's one of those like clear covers. Wow, stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And the quote on the front by Alex E. Harrow says, mystery, magic, murder, marvelous. It says, a hidden world, a magical conspiracy, a thrilling romance. And our main character, Robin, finds himself in a spot of bother. An administrative mistake appoints him parliamentary liaison to a secret society, and he discovers magic lies beneath the reality he's already known. Soon, Robin must contend with magic's danger as well as its beauty, for as he tries to find his missing predecessor, he attracts a deadly curse. To navigate these hazards, he'll need the help of Edwin Curry, his prickly magical society counterpart. But his aloof associate clearly wishes Robin were anyone and anywhere else. Drawn together by unexpected perils, Robin and Edwin will discover a mystery as old as the power that binds the land, a plot that threatens every magician in the British Isles, and a secret that some have already died to keep. And I see that there is a 1 here on the spine, so that makes me obviously think that it's a series. And I love the cover. I love everything about it. It sounds really, really intriguing, especially like a magical conspiracy. Like, I'm here for it. Let's do it. The next one that I got is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. This one is about our main characters who had a fling years and years ago for a week, and then ultimately something happens, they get separated, and now throughout those years that they've been separated, they have been writing their books in their separate genres, but kind of like to each other throughout the years. And now they're at some sort of convention and they are meeting up again. Obviously, things didn't end in a very great way, so tensions are high, things are going on, and I'm guessing that we're going to reminisce on the old days and then try to repair or at least figure out things now in present day. So I think it sounds absolutely phenomenal. I'm actually reading that this month in February, so I'm very excited. And then the next one is book 2 in the Greenbone saga, which is Jade War by Fonda Lee. In this world, there are Greenbone warriors who have been using jade, the mineral, to enhance their powers to protect their land of Kekon against foreign invaders. And now there's like tensions are high between the two clans of the city that they're living in. And it is marketed as like a Hong Kong gangster film in a way. Those vibes are definitely there. The family dynamics are phenomenal. And this is book 2. Very excited to get to it. I'm also reading this month. The next book that we're getting to is Amari and the Night Brothers by B.B. Alston. This one is a middle grade and it sounds absolutely phenomenal. Basically, our main character Mari's brother is missing, but she doesn't really believe that he's actually gone. But everyone is kind of brushing her away and thinking that, you know, she's a kid, she doesn't know any better. But then she finds this ticking briefcase in her brother's closet, which contains a nomination for a summer tryout at the Bureau of Supernatural Affairs. And she's sure that this is how she's gonna find where Quentin is. And now she has to wrap her head around the idea of magicians, fairies, aliens, and other supernatural creatures all being real. So now she is competing for a spot against kids who have known about magic their whole lives. No matter how hard she tries, Amari can't escape their scrutiny and doubt, especially when her own supernaturally enhanced talent is deemed illegal. With an evil magician threatening the supernatural world and her classmates thinking she's an enemy, Amari has never felt more alone. But if she doesn't stick it out and pass the tryouts, she may never find out what happened to Quentin. And this is a series. This is obviously book 1, and I have heard nothing but phenomenal things about it, so I was very excited to obtain this and put it on my list. The next book was another gift from Melissa. Thank you so much. This one she got for me because it was a book that they enjoyed, and I had never heard of it until it reached my doorstep. So it is called Samiko and the Enslaved Fox, and it says Samiko inherits an ancestral home, a vast fortune, and a butler who isn't exactly human. Humanity is rocked by the emergence of people who call themselves Amaranthine. They are our myths and legends come to life, neither human nor animal, yet embracing qualities of both. The inhuman races inspire both awe and fear. Every newsfeed is clogged with updates about the peace process, but some places don't concern themselves with worldly affairs, like the girls' school run by Saint Midori of Heavenly Lights, where Samiko grew up. A letter from a long-lost aunt names Samiko heiress to an ancestral estate and its accompanying fortune. Only the legacy comes with an aloof heirloom, an inhuman butler. Argent has served the family for centuries, and Samiko must renew the generational bond or he'll die. Argent hates for the hold she has over him, but he craves her soul almost as much as he craves his freedom. I love in this book how there are little bits of like petals or teeth, maybe? It kind of looks like petals, I hope. Like flower petals? I'm not sure. But I love when books have little like doodles every now and again throughout the pages. And again, I love when people will grab me books that they really enjoyed and they think that I'll enjoy. It always makes it a little bit more special, so thank you so much. We only got 2 more, guys. We're doing great. The next one is The Kindred by Alicia Dow, and this one was gifted to me by Hannah, so thank you. Another one that wasn't on my my wish list, but she sent it to me and I'm very grateful. This one says, to save a galactic kingdom from revolution, kindred mind pairings were created to ensure each and every person would be seen and heard no matter how rich or poor. Our two main characters are Joy and Duke, and Joy is a commoner from the lowly planet Holly, and Duke is from a noble family, and he will exasperate them to the point that they agree to let him choose his own future and finally meet his kindred face to face. Then the royal family is assassinated, putting Felix next in line for the throne and accused of the murders. Someone will stop at nothing until he's dead, which means they'll target Joy too. Oh, it's Duke Felix. Duke Felix is the guy. Okay. Meeting in person for the first time as they steal a spacecraft and flee amid the chaos might not be ideal, and neither is a crash landing on the strange backward planet called Earth. But hiding might be just the perfect way to discover the true strength of the kindred bond and expose a scandal and a love that may decide the future of a galaxy. Sounds like a fun little like romantic sci-fi moment here, so I'm very excited. Thank you so much for sending this to me. The last one that I'm going to talk about is an anthology that I got kind of for free because at my local bookstore it was like I spent so much money that they just like put it on the top of my stack and said, here you go, enjoy it. And it's basically just highlighting like local authors and giving them a little like collection of stories that us as a community here in Indianapolis can enjoy. So it's called Indie Writes Books. It's a book lovers anthology. It's featuring John Green, Karen Kovacic, Ben H. Winters, Kathy Day, and more. It's an anthology of some of the most wonderful and generous authors who have been a big part of the first 2 years of Indie Reads Books, which is my local bookshop. Very cute. And all proceeds from this book support Indie Reads adult literacy programs in central Indiana. So very cute. I love it. And the book itself is very nice. It's like a beautiful sage green, and it feels nice. And I love an anthology. Very excited to have this. Thought it was very, very sweet of them to, you know, cushion the blow of my spending there to give me a free book. So that's it. I'm done here. Thank you so much for being here and hanging out with me for a little bit. If you are still watching, then leave a book emoji down below in the comments. It's a book haul. I don't know what else you want. And thank you so much. While you're down there, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. I always appreciate your support. And of course, be kind to one another and happy reading. Bye.